Hi there everyone, once again welcome to Astrology. This is your transit series for April 6th to the 20th, 2022. Join me on this journey. This slide is for my new subscribers and viewers. This is an explanation or an informational video on the division of the sky into the signs, the nakshatras and the stars. Just a few terms on the Vedic astrology terminology that I use so that you can get a heads up. Take your time, read it, view it, and if you have any questions, and ask, and you shall have an answer from Astrology. My old subscribers, you know the drill. The selection of the Taurus Spread through the cards gives me an added analysis or depth to the reading for any period or transit that I do. And as you all know, my subscribers and readers, I use it to track this spread because it gives me a hint of the universe. It gives me a hint of, the moon and the planets, the sun, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, so that it's kind of a line there in that spread as to how they are. And while I've been reading the simple way, I will, give you a heads up at this point in time as to which placement of the card as it's posited as to its relation to the planet that it's posited in the place where the tetractys spread. So here we go, and let us see. The first card is the Three of Air. The Three of Air, which is our premise, our foundation. And that card is the unity card. It unifies the entire spread. Then we have Renewal, which is Judgment. And that card is aligned to the moon in this tetractys spread. The High Priestess is aligned to Power, which is Sun. And then we have the Five of Fire, followed by the Five of Water. And these cards respectively is again the moon and Mercury. And then we have the Chariot, which is again Harmony, the sun. And then we move on to Saturn's placement in this tetractys spread, and we have the Dreamer or the Fool. And in Venus's position we have Nine of Earth or Nine of Pentacles. Then we have Jupiter's position, and we have Release, which is number 13, Death. And then finally we have the Cosmos, which is Mars position, and here we have the Knight of Fire. So when you look at the triangle for this tetractys spread, these are the placement of the cards with the grahas that come with them. So we are going to shuffle the pack now for the chakra wisdom, and this is just as to whether the chakra, it could be blocked or it could be opened, and based on the card, we will know how do we feel about it. Is it a Vishuddha chakra? Is it an Anahata chakra? Is it a sacral chakra, Manipura? What chakra is it that we are dealing with, and where are our feelings coming from? Is it a gut instinct? Is it heart, or is it something in our head? And this is impasse, and we have gotten impasse already, and this is a sacral chakra. And it is all about what is done, but we'll see more of that when I do the analysis. But we've gotten impasse already, and it's all to deal with guidance, protection, a new direction. Something is blocking us from hurting ourselves, so we are being protected still. That is part of the message of the impasse card. And the graha that we are looking at for this period is the South Node, and the South Node is K2. And right now K2 is in Scorpio, moving into Libra during April month. So there's going to be some movement with the South Node and the North Node, but we are dealing with the South Node in this reading. And then the house, let us see the house that we should be focusing on for this reading, and that house is 10, the house of career, the house of profession, reputation, status in society. So are we changing jobs? Are we looking for a different career? What it is we're looking for? And the element that is going to guide us, of the 4 elements that we deal with in these readings, is air, the element of air. And that goes to the premise and foundation of this reading, because the 3 of air is the 3 of swords, and here we have the element air. So that is being supportive of this, and we will see where this reading takes us. And now I'm going to look at the deity for this period, the deity and his or her energies, the goddess or god that is going to guide us or hold us, or give us that new direction through impasse or the south node. So let us see whom that deity will turn out to be for the period April 6th to April 20th, 2022. And that deity appears to be Mahadev Shiva. Mahadev Shiva, and this is the transformer. And the transformer here is in our pack, and it is taking the part of the 5 of fire. So there we have it for this period, and let's move on. Alrighty then, we have just gone through the video to select the Taurus Spread, and the premise of this card, as we have seen, is the 3 of air. And what does the 3 of air tell us? It's great sadness. It's taking your time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. And we see, the horse's head here bent, but being protective of the younger ones. Even though, they're sad, they are still protecting and trying to probably forgive themselves for a wrong decision. And what is really, what we see in the original card of the 3 of air or 3 of swords is 3 swords piercing a heart and giving it broken. And this is where we look at when the 3 of swords appears in a reading. It's heartbreak, it's grief, it's sadness and pain. These are the suggestions coming from the 3 of air. The pain may be so intense, you might feel as though someone has stuck a dagger through your heart, as we just saw with the 3 swords in the heart. The suffering represented by this card is not confined to one area of your life, because it's 3 swords, so it might be 3 different areas of your life. And it suggests that anything and everything that cuts you to the core is what makes itself present at this point in time. And it could be the loss of a loved one, it could be illness, it could be separation, divorce, a broken friendship, a family being betrayed or disloyal, a job loss, exam failure, anything, a legal loss, a case in the judicial system. So that in order to come out of this a better person, it is important not to deny the pain or suffering represented by this card, but to embrace it and understand that it takes time to heal, just as the card said. So take the time to forgive yourself or others if your pain comes from either source. By living through the pain, only then will you know when you are beginning to heal. You will understand when you start to think or want, or your needs come up again. So that times, it heals, and this time of suffering will surely pass for you. Each of the 3 swords, as I said before, represents a painful truth or hard lesson that has to be learned and endured. And the longer the swords stay embedded in your heart, the more entrenched they become and the more bitter and hardened it becomes. So you need to take it out and look at it and deal with it, and not keep it stuck in your heart. It must be pulled out like a thorn in your foot or in your heart. It must be pulled out one by one or all together, depending on your personal strength. And it's not an easy thing to do, because the very act of pulling those swords out may involve having to forgive someone, or to ask for forgiveness of another, or even yourself. So understand what the premise of this is. Yes, it's a time of great sadness, but it's also a time of great learning and understanding yourself and others better. The transit of the grahas for the period beginning April 6, 2022 to April 20th, 2022, gives us the Kal Amrita Yoga that is still present for Rahu and Ketu, because all the planets, as you can see, are still just before the mouth of the beast. Rahu is the mouth or the head, and Ketu is the tail. Rahu is going to move from Taurus to Aries in the middle of April, and Ketu is going to go to Libra, because they always have to be 180 degrees apart. Mercury, Sun, Venus and Mars all move once a month. They change zodiac signs, except for Mars. He takes like 2.5 months sometimes. Based on their retrogression also, you will find within the next 7 months, 6 to 7 months, they will all now be on this part of the chart, which is the belly of the beast, because they will go through Rahu's mouth here, so that they will be in the belly of the beast, so that they will have now forming for us the Kal Sarpa Yoga. And the Kal Sarpa Yoga is all about the material world, what we want, our assets, our riches, our hoard, our financial stability, our investments. So those are the things that are going to be affected from April to around maybe July, August. So this is something that we will deal with in further videos, but it's just giving you a heads up here. Right now, what we have here is Mercury and Sun in Pisces. And Sun in Pisces is all about going with the flow, connecting with your emotions, intuition. It's not about ego anymore. It's not about, not being a part of the environment. It's you understanding what is happening within you. Mercury, however, is debilitated in Pisces, so that Mercury here is not going to think or speak with reason or with logic or with any kind of rationale. Mercury here is going to have his imagination run wild, so that you may not want to present yourself in that kind of way for any business opportunity or to anybody, within this period of time. And that is Sun and Mercury. And then we have Jupiter and Venus in Aquarius. And Aquarius is the water bearer. Aquarius is all about bringing the nourishment from the gods. And Venus and Jupiter are the two benefics in the Vedic astrology grahas. And Jupiter is all about expansion. Venus is all about desires. So that what are we expanding in our world? What is the deities and the gods sending for us to expand our world? Because this is what Aquarius is all about. Venus is here, has a desire to have a better world. He's very optimistic. So that optimism with Jupiter's expansion might be a little overwhelming for some, but again, it all depends on the house or bhava that Aquarius is for you. But this is blessings, good luck, good fortune. Then we have Mars and Saturn here in Capricorn in a planetary war, a Yud Graha as we say. And this planetary war really is not a nice thing, because these are two malefic planets as we call them. Mars is about aggression, Saturn is about hard work. And if you don't want to work hard, then Saturn is going to not allow you to be rewarded, because he's also the lord of karma. And Mars may want to be very aggressive and quick and want to act without thought, but Saturn is going to put a halt to that if Saturn is the stronger in this arena. And although he's in his own home, if Saturn is more powerful in your chart, then Saturn may get the heads up here and move forward without thought and act and bring about battles and chaos and wars. So that we have to be very careful at this point in time for the next couple weeks in terms of our actions and how quick we act. And then we come to the cards here, renewal. And renewal is the dark forces, and renewal is all about your thinking, all about the earth. And it holds the position here where moon, your mind, is part of this, but where also the consequences of your action is what you're going to deal with. And the cards here say review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts is going to be in your favor because you have already acted. So wait until they get that assessment, wait until that message comes to you before you act, because renewal tells you here that this is an outside action that you have no control over, because this is a major arcana card. So that time to move in a new direction is upon you, and that new direction may be to hold on, hold faith, and wait for judgment, because judgment is going to be in your favor, right? And that is the consequences of your action. That is where the dark cosmic forces are aligning with you, and the light cosmic forces that we have here is the card, the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is telling you that the conflict you're having is that you don't want to listen to your intuition. And Sun just says, Sun in Pisces says that that is the intuition. Sun is intuitive right now, because Sun in Pisces is all about you going with the flow and connecting with your emotions. And the High Priestess is all about your mental capability, the secrets. You know, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. Do you want to quarrel? Do you want to say you're giving up before a judgment comes on you? Or do you want to give people victory over you by not being patient? This is what the High Priestess is telling you, that this is the conflict, that have some patience. Don't be hasty. Don't be gung-ho. Wait on those messages. And Mercury here is telling you the message is not logical and rational at this point in time. You're letting your imagination run wild. So the dark and the light, which is the renewal and the High Priestess card, are aligning with Sun and Mercury here in Pisces to give you that message and that way of say, hold up, hold on, don't move forward. And then we have the spiritual forces, and the spiritual forces starts with the Five of Fire, and the Five of Fire here again comes with the moon. And the Five of Fire tells you competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others, and this is what needs to be removed. Do not go into conflict with others. And how are you going to go in conflict with others? Through Mercury or Mars, because Mars wants you to act fast and Mercury is letting your imagination run wild. Don't let Mars and Mercury lead you into competing goals, into bothersome details. Wait. Take that renewal, take that High Priestess and wait. Have patience. Then we have the Five of Water, which is what helps you to maintain a balanced life. You know, things are not turning out the way you'd hoped. You're not seeing the positive in a situation. You're crying over spilt milk. What is done is done. It has gone already. You have no control over it. Go with the flow. Connect with your emotions. Understand that it's a feeling, but you have to have the patience. You have to have the patience. Saturn is there telling you don't act rashly. Hold up. Saturn is there to hold on to Mars, where Saturn is saying, yo, this is not the time, this is not the place, this is not to whom you should be crying over. This is not where you would have hopes and dreams. Don't let your imagination run wild. And what is it that you are going to explore that drives you into a new direction? The Chariot. The Chariot is an important achievement. It's self-discipline, it's willpower, it's public recognition. And if you take that patience and wait and not have Mercury and Mars overrun you for this period, then you are going to go on that Chariot. You are going to have that important achievement. And how coincidental can this be? These cards are just telling you what the transit of the Grahas are telling you. I just love when things come together and when research really is based on fact, and you know, your intuition, your competence, your whole body is giving the messages that the Lord wants you to give the message. And Bhagwan is there at the back of our minds for us to understand. Look, the cards are saying the same thing as the transit of the planets. So let us see again how more futuristic we can be with these cards. And the Dreamer, the Fool, you know, it's a leap of faith, and this is the Earth where you are coping with everyday life. You have to take that leap of faith to follow your dreams. It's unexpected opportunities, but you could only have an unexpected opportunities if you review and evaluate and not rush into things. So take Saturn, take lessons from Jupiter. Jupiter wants you to be creative. Jupiter wants you to be a little bit curious, open-minded, but take justice, take the law into consideration. What does the law provide for you? What are your limits that you have to do within the law? Yes, there are opportunities, but are these opportunities legal? And this is what Jupiter and Saturn is telling you here in Aquarius and Capricorn and the dreamer. The dreamer is telling you that is how you cope with everyday life. Have your dreams, but there are limits that you can operate to achieve those dreams. Then in the water exploration of your emotions, we have the Nine of Earth, the Nine of Pentacles. And this is a card tuned to Venus. And Venus says, enjoy life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, successful self-employment. So it might be time for you to open a business, it might be time for you to get away from that humdrum, that 3 hours of traffic going to work and driving and taking the fumes and the public opinion on your performance and not on your personality and what you are wanting to do, so that it might just be personality against performance, and the personality will come through with Mercury and Mars, but the performance will come through with Jupiter and Saturn, where you work hard, you work steady, you work realistically within the law. And this is what the Nine of Earth is telling you. Take things step by step, as we say here in our little corner of the world. Chirrup, that is what we say, a little bit. Don't jump in without reevaluating, reviewing. These are what the cards are telling you. And then we have your current strategy. And what does the current strategy tell you? Release. This is death. And it's not a physical death, it's the end of a phase or a situation. It's a spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. And how many times are these cards going to tell you to move on? Renewal tells you move on. High Priestess tells you move on. Chariot tells you you're going on a journey. Release tells you you're going on a journey. The Fool tells you take that leap of faith, move on. The cards are just telling you move on, but it's also telling you move on at the correct time. And now is not the time to take a decision. Take your time, enjoy the little things, as the Nine of Pentacles just said. Enjoy the little things in life, Isolate yourself a little bit, meditate, do some yoga, take a run, take a walk barefoot in the grass, as Saturn wants you to do. Connect with your spiritual side and the earth. And you will have that transformation when the time is truth. And then what is your will and ambition, your creative force? And this is the Knight of Fire. It's passionate, it's adventurous, it's self-assured, it's restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Even though Mars is telling you, gung-ho, let's move on, let's take action, let's be aggressive, let's take this quick decision, the Knight of Fire is still telling you, hold up. And that is Saturn. Saturn is telling Mars, whoops, not now. Take your time, relax, sit back, enjoy. Take a drive to the beach, take a drive over the bridge, look at nature, feel the breeze on your face. Isolate yourself a little, think, reevaluate, and then make your decision. And this is what the grahas and the cards are aligning and telling you, and it's a beautiful story. And the story continues with impasse and the south node. These are the energies. And impasse, remember we had this card in a previous reading. And impasse is where this gentleman is blocking your way so you can go in a new direction. He's diverting you because there's a cliff there and he doesn't want you to tumble over. And it just goes beautifully with the transit of the grahas and the cards that we just went through. That, this is time for a new direction. What's done, it's done. It's the end of a great emotional upset, the power to change is supported right now. This is a reroute, not an ending. You know, your back is being guarded by the angels, by the deities, and by friends. The gentleman is there blocking you from falling over the cliff. And the south node, Ketu, is telling you, remember, reconsider. Now is not the time for trouble, for anxiety about where everything is, where it's telling you there is a will not to be impatient, not to go gung-ho in that what is facing you. Take your time, look at the alternatives, look at what is new. And the story continues, and the story, the energies of the cards are telling you that it's continuing with the energies of the card. It's just beautiful. And the energies of the cards here continues with giving you a little insight in that, you know, it's probably all this decision is about your 10th house, your success, you know, where you are trying to become a person of power and status, where your career is being looked at, your destiny, you know, where you are going, you know, what it is you see in front of you. But in front of you is not only a straight path, it is a diversionary path also. There are alternative means to getting that success and that career that you want, that responsibility that you want for your family, where you can give them, you know, all the joys and luxuries that Venus wants to promise you, with Jupiter expanding in this period. So that it is your 10th house you are looking at. What it is your career? Is it that you want to change your career, or is it that you want to diverge from your career? Is it that you want to be self-employed? The cards are giving you alternatives, and look at it. Air is the element that tells you you can go any which way. It is there to support you. The air will carry you where you want to go. The air will take you on that path that you want to divert to. You know, the air is at your back supporting you and pushing you. And Mahadev Shiva is there. He's the god of destruction, but destruction to bring about something new. And he's all about the union with a good marriage, maybe, you know, it's a good partner. It's detachment from life's unexpected changes, so that you are expecting something, but you are getting yourself ready to deal with it. You know that changes are coming, but you are getting yourself ready to deal with it. And if you deal with it in a proper way, with Lord Shiva's help, you will get numerous benefits, from worldly material things to liberation. So the stories continue, the energies align, the energies enable and support the transformation and the changes, and for you to review and re-evaluate before you take action. And this is the transit of the grahas for the end of the period, which is April 20th, 2022. And what do we see here? We see Rahu and Ketu moving. Rahu has gone into Aries and Ketu has gone into Libra. Rahu is at 29 Aries and Ketu is at 29 Libra. And then we have Mercury and Sun here with Rahu, but they are not in the mouth of the beast right now, because they are at 23 Aries and 6 Aries. So it's only when they go closer to Rahu. So Rahu is about here in 29 Aries and they are around here, just, you know, a vision. So they have to travel this distance. So it's still about maybe a 2 weeks, maybe a month, in which they will then be in the beast, in the bellies of the beast, as we see. So that is called Sarpa Yoga, that will commence at the end of April, May. And now we have Jupiter in his own sign in Pisces. We have Venus and Mars now in Aquarius. Saturn is all by his lonesome in his own house, Capricorn. Mars is 9 Aquarius and Venus is 22 Aquarius. So Mars is there now in Aquarius, fighting the new fight, fighting with friends, trying to gain friendships and relationships. Saturn is still sitting there, hardworking, being productive, and dishing out karma and the law in Capricorn. Jupiter is going to expand to his fullest now in Pisces, because he's in his own home, he's settled, he's going to be there for a whole year, and it's going to be a good time for some people. Depending on the house that this is for others, if you know, if it's your 6th 8th or 12th house, the Dhisthana houses, it's going to be a difficult time, because even though Jupiter is there, it might be that, you know, there might be more enemies, there might be more transformation and sudden changes. Losses might occur in things that you like or that you want to expand. You know, it might expand to the extent that you are worried and having anxiety attacks. So this might be, you know, the negative side of Jupiter being in his own home. But as I always tell you, you have to be very specific on your Kundali and birth chart. This is a general reading. Don't be afraid. Don't take it as this is for you and this is only for you. No, it's not. This is just a heads up of what the planets can do for the period, and to get a proper reading for you and your specific situation by the placement of or transit of these grahas, you need to request your report to get your information. So we are in a little better place at the end of the period. Mercury is no longer in debilitation, so that communication might be better, it might be smoother, it might be more charismatic, you might be more creative with what you want to say, because this is Aries we're talking about. So these are some of the things that are going to happen at the end of the period, where April 20th gives you the transit of the grahas as you see them here on the chart. Before I close off on this video on the transit series, I ask that you share, sign up, subscribe to my zedahastrology.com. You can send me a message at zeda55@outlook.com. Here you are going to get your tarot spreads, your runes, your chakras, your crystals. You are going to get your patra readings and tarot spreads. Bhagwan has once again given me the knowledge and the resources to bring these messages to you. I hope, like Mercury, it was not garbled or miscommunicated. Should you not understand anything, I ask that you drop me a line at zeda55@outlook.com so that I can have a conversation or dialogue with you. I thank you for listening, and I hope something new and exciting enters your thoughts and enables your dream. Be safe, happy and healthy until we meet again. See you next time. Bye.